Hey there, magical experimenters. Looks like I'm live and here, so yay me. And if you're somebody who's just come to this video for my channel for the first time, go ahead and click the subscribe button and then click the notification bell. And if you've seen my stuff before, go ahead and like it or comment. So I wanted to talk about the mysteries of death and rebirth today. The mysteries of death and rebirth. Well, part one. So I went and saw the movie The Green Knight recently, and I'm not going to ruin it for you. I mean, if you've read the classic tale, The Green Knight, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, you have an idea of what it's about anyway. But I will say that I do recommend watching the movie. I think it's really powerful and transformative, and I'm actually going to get a copy of it when it becomes available, just because it's something I would love to watch again. I actually got the music for it. That's how powerful it was to me. When I was watching the movie, there was a part where basically you get to see a fantasy of the character's life play out. And it was rather interesting to watch. And while it was happening, I felt the archangels suddenly connect with me. And then I felt Cronus, the Titan of, Saturn, of basically, also connect with me. And I had this very powerful experience where basically I was kneeling before Cronus and he took his sickle and he chopped my head off. And as my head hit the floor and the blood gushed out, suddenly this new version of myself came out. And I was told by all of the spirits above that basically, I'd been cleaned out. Now, what was powerful about this was that this happened on July 31st. This is when I saw the movie. Right before August. Why is that important? Well, August last year is when my life went to hell. I had finally finished my working at the day job, thought I was never going to work at another day job in my life, and then along comes this person who, well, I'm responsible for my end of things, but this person basically did play a role in really screwing my life up in some ways. And well, here we are a year later, and things have changed significantly. So August has kind of been August of last year. Like when I talk about August, I talk about August now. I talk about August of 2020, and it's a traumatic experience for me. So now it's like August of 2021 is the chance to rewrite things. And I realized that that's really what this was about. I went and I saw this movie, and I could really relate to the character's fantasy, and like how he like saw this alternate timeline, and then all of a sudden there I am, and I get my head chopped off, and then I'm reborn. And in the midst of all that, I get shown 3 different timelines, like 3 possibilities of what my life could be. And it was a really powerful experience. I'm not saying that you're going to have that experience when you go see the movie. I don't know what experience you will or won't have. I think it's the kind of movie, though, that it'll bring out some type of experience for you if that's what if you're open to it. But I know for me, that's the experience it brought out. And really, it's not surprising because for me, death and rebirth is really an integral part of my own spiritual journey. I mean, I've had a number of near-death experiences in my life. I'll talk about those more in a later video. But I think that like it's one of the most significant magical mysteries, and that really, we don't even have to be on the edge of life to have a death rebirth experience. We could do something like go to a movie and have it evoke an experience for us that brings us to an existential awareness of ourselves, that allows us to just experience that possibility of death and rebirth. In my case, going to see this movie, I was basically told, well, all the things that you've been going through, you're basically getting cleared out and cleaned out. And it just makes so much sense because, that's basically what's happened. I was told basically all the burdens that you've been carrying, the guilt, the shame, everything else that you've been dealing with we're clearing it. That's what's been holding you back. And now we've cleared that out for you. These last few months has really been about clearing all of that crap out. And really, for the first time in a while, I felt this strong connection. I mean, I have felt a strong connection to She Who Watches in particular in the last few months, especially like the first month out from the divorce and a bit the month after. But then, I think things just kind of went crazy for me for a while. And really, when I look at July of 2021, it's going to rank up right up there with August 2020, where it was just fucking insane. It was just insane in a way that was just absolutely crazy for me. Like I just had so many different experiences packed into it. Most of them were needed experiences. A couple of them were were happy experiences I didn't expect, but I know I need. It's so funny when you realize you need something and someone comes into your life and gives you that need. Oh, that's a story for another time. Just somebody that came into my life I didn't expect. Or maybe she called me into her life. I wonder what she's going to think about that when she considers all the ramifications. Anyway, that's another thing in and of itself. For me, this death and rebirth, it is about transformation. Death isn't the end. It's a transformation. It's an ending and a beginning. Like it's an ending of one thing and it's a beginning of something else. And I feel like for me, July 31st was my ending. I've gradually in the last couple of weeks in particular felt more clear-headed and clear-hearted than I have in a very long time. And I hope I stay that way. I'm really working on that. I'm figuring out some strategies. I mean, one of the things I'm doing is I'm actually doing a lot of writing around the emotions that are coming up because I realize how easy it is for me to get carried away by things. It's kind of the peril of being passionate, I guess you could say. But getting back to the death and rebirth part, this experience was fascinating. And then later that night, I had this dream. I did a working, with Saturnic alchemical elements, and I had this dream where basically Cronus showed up. It's the only part of the dream I recall, but we're walking this fallow field and we're planting seeds, and he's carrying the sickle as well. And I asked him, like, what was this about? And he's like, well, we're planting the seeds for the rest of your life. We're setting you up, like, regardless of what life strand you choose, we're setting you up for this path. And we've already started to sow some of those seeds. And I thought about that. And I mean, it makes sense when I look back at the July and some of the things that happened. Yes, I do see some seeds being sown. Some different ways. And it just I don't know, it just fascinated me. And at the end, we come to the end and he's looking down at me and I'm looking up at him, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, why is this spirit taking interest in me? And I know why. Because of the work I need to do, around space-time magic, of course, but the work I need to do in general, with my writing and my magic and the inner alchemical work and everything. Like, it's like there's all this stuff I need to still put out there, and I am putting it out, but there's very specific instructions, and it's a very powerful realization on my own part. So, the mysteries of death and rebirth is that sometimes we have to lose, to lose the things that are holding us back in some form or manner. And what was really holding me back, and I want to be very clear about this, this is not a comment on my former relationship. What was really holding me back was me. I mean, I could speak and say, so-and-so did this or so-and-so did that, but that's not really true. At the end of the day, what I realized fundamentally is that it's really been me that's held me back in so many different ways. It was my codependent behavior. It was my guilt. It was my shame. It was my self-loathing. It was all these other things. that showed up in my life and in one form or another just contributed to this experience that clouded my connection with the spirits. And now all those things are cleared away. And what am I left with? I'm left with, well, me. I'm left with starting anew. And where will I go from here? What will I do? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I have ideas. There are some paths that are being revealed to me. And then, I mean, for right now, I'm just focusing on the short term. But even so, like, I have this notion of where things could go. And some of it is admittedly greatly dependent upon what's going to happen in the course of this year. I mean, really, it's like what I was really given to know is like you need to really continue to focus on your connection and truth for the rest of this year and next year until October 2022, which is when I wrap up my work with connection and truth. Like, this is all about laying out this groundwork. Like, we laid out the groundwork for creativity with you, but you know, in the end, you let certain things get in your way, and there you are. And now you're really free of everything that has held you back within yourself, and yes, external circumstances too. I mean, you know, I'm still gonna have to deal with the realities of life. I still got to work. I still got to do other things, but at the same time, I'm really just kind of been set free. And where do I go from here? What do I do? What connections do I choose? What truths do I manifest? These are the things that I think about. And this, I think, is a huge part of the mysteries of death and rebirth, is that sometimes what we find is that we find this way to just lose what was otherwise getting in our way. You know, death is not destruction, but it is transformation of who and what you are. And rebirth is the choices you make then with that and what you become. And that's where I'm at right now. So I don't know. It's pretty freaking cool. And I look forward to sharing more with you guys next week, but just wanted to do a video. Talk to you later.